All right, what's going on, guys? So, back in November, Activision told us that in the upcoming weeks, they were going to actually address the matchmaking system. A lot of people in the community, I guess, were expecting them to kind of address or explain skill based matchmaking. Well, the day has finally come. Yesterday, they put out quite a few statements talking about matchmaking. They put out a whole blog with a lot of graphics and explaining a lot of stuff. But, real quick, before we look at what they said, I want to put up a tweet of mine back in November. This was my thoughts on the situation, a prediction, I guess you could call it. So in quotes, I said they are going to address SBMM. LOL, they are going to give a very vague answer and say it's not purely based on your stats and that it does factor your location, and say that they are going to continue monitoring the situation. Listen, man, I've been around, okay? I'm familiar with their game. And based off what they actually released, I don't think I was too far off, so let's take a look at what they actually shared with us. Late last year, we committed to a conversation with our community about matchmaking. Today's matchmaking intel is intended to kick off that dialogue and is a new beginning for what we hope will be an ongoing conversation about matchmaking, sharing our process, and even learnings with you to answer questions and concerns that we've seen within the community. So if you actually click on the little blog post, the first thing you will see is like this graphic showing the factors in the matchmaking process. And they claim the top two factors that decide what type of lobby you get are connection and time to match. So basically they're saying they're trying to get people in matches as fast as possible with the best connection as possible. And then after that, they say the rest of the factors are also considered. And if you look at what they got listed on there, it does say skill and performance. So they are at the very least admitting and acknowledging that skill is a matchmaking factor. But they have a bunch of other things in there that I don't even think really matter. They're kind of irrelevant, like voice chat, playlist diversity, recent maps and modes. Like, I don't know why any of that really matters too much. There are a few things worth looking at, like, input device, platform, stuff like that. Really, the one we want to focus on here, because regardless of what they say, we play the game, okay? We know how it works. So we want to look at the skill aspect of it, right? They did put out a detailed breakdown of it, so let me go ahead and read that. Skill is determined based on a player's overall performance. Kills, deaths, wins, losses, and more, including mode selection and recent matches as an overall metric across all multiplayer experiences. This is a fluid measurement that's consistently updating and reacting to your gameplay. Skill is not only a factor in matchmaking players against appropriate enemies, but also when finding teammates. Call of Duty has historically considered player performance among other factors as part of our matchmaking process. Our work in this area dates back as early as Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 2007. Skill is implemented across the video game industry, and we recognize that continuous refinement is required to deliver the best possible experience for our players. We use player performance to ensure that the disparity between the most skilled player in the lobby and the least skilled player in the lobby isn't so vast that players feel their match is a waste of time. Our data on player outcomes clearly indicates that the inclusion of skill in Call of Duty's multiplayer matchmaking process, as it currently stands, increases the variety of outcomes experienced by players of all skill levels. In other words, all players, regardless of skill level, are more likely to experience wins and losses more proportionately. Our data shows that when lower skill players are consistently on the losing end, they are likely to quit matches in progress or stop playing altogether. This has an effect on the player pool. A smaller player pool means wait times for matches increase and connections may not be as strong as they should be. This can compound over time to create a spiral effect. Eventually, when only high-skilled players remain because lower skilled players have quit out of frustration, the result is an ecosystem that is worse overall for everyone. Game data indicates that having some limitations on the disparity of skill across the players in a match makes for a healthier ecosystem. We also understand that many high-skilled players want more variety of experience, but often feel like they only get the sweatiest list of lobbies. We have heard this feedback clearly and will continue to test and actively explore ways to mitigate this concern. Okay, so that was a lot of information, but there was some good stuff in there. So basically, they said that their skill rating is based off your stats and performance in recent matches. I feel like we already kind of knew that. One thing that was interesting that they brought up is they said they have historically factored in player performance all the way back since COD 4. Yeah, listen, okay, I've played every COD since COD 4. I've been good at COD all the way since COD 4. I don't know what system you may have had back then, but what we're not gonna do is pretend that it's the same system that exists now. So maybe you did have something, but it wasn't nearly as strong or as strict or anything close to the matchmaking system that exists now. So don't try to put it out there like, oh, we've always had this. That is not the case at all. You're not gonna sit here and lie to the people. Maybe some of the younger people out there that are a little bit newer, that haven't been playing for that long, maybe you can lie to them, but I will not let you sit here and lie to me and tell me that. Let's continue. They basically admitted that they are protecting bad players. They said they don't want a large skill disparity between the best player in the lobby and the worst player in the lobby. I mean, yeah, I think we pretty much already knew that. They also said something weird. They said this increases the variety of outcomes experienced for all players, and I have to strongly disagree with that point. Skill-based matchmaking actually does the opposite, because all my games are the same now. If I just search up a game, it's literally me and 11 other sweaty ass kids all trying hard as fuck. Everybody's using the ACR, everyone's using the meta weapons, everyone's spamming UAVs, and like it's all just the same shit. Every single game, it will be that experience. There's no variety at all. That's actually one of the main problems with skill-based matchmaking, is every game feels the same. But back in the day, you could actually find a variety of lobbies. Sometimes you get in a lobby and everyone's good. Sometimes you get in a lobby and you're the best player in there, everyone's terrible. Sometimes it's a mix. Honestly, most of the time, it's a mix. There'll be some good people, some bad people, some average people, you know what I mean? But every lobby actually feels different. There is variety. So the statement by them that this new matchmaking somehow creates more variety, that doesn't make any sense to me. I would need a further explanation on that one. Then they followed it up with probably the most important statement in the whole post. They said bad players are more likely to quit and stop playing the game when they get shit on, while good players will continue playing. So basically, if you were going to take anything away from this video or from this post, this is all you need to know. Skill-based matchmaking is not going anywhere, because they need to make sure the bad players don't get shit on too bad and quit playing the game so they can keep milking them for bundles from the fucking store. That's all you need to know right there. That is your answer for skill-based matchmaking. They basically admitted that right there, if you can kind of read between the lines a little bit. They did do a little Q&A at the end, and I thought there was a few interesting questions, so I'm going to just briefly include those. But as far as skill-based matchmaking goes, you got your answer. So at the end, they were asked if they factored in playtime into matchmaking at all. They said no. They also said that spending money does not factor into matchmaking at all, which does contradict that patent that was found. I don't know if we're ever going to get the truth about stuff like that, because that goes beyond like surface level, like skill-based matchmaking. I actually think that might get into like legal territory, so I don't know if they will ever address something like that, or if that's even allowed. I don't know. They also said there are no bots in matchmaking. I don't know, because we have seen some videos that looks like there are bots in matchmaking. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but they are claiming that there is not. They also said they do not give any special matchmaking privileges for Call of Duty partners, because I know a lot of the like Warzone people, I think just the Warzone community has a lot of like casuals who are just like really stupid. They have like a conspiracy theory that everybody who's like a Warzone streamer gets put on like a whitelist, and they don't experience the same lobbies as other people. I'm gonna be honest, I just doubt that very highly. They're just manipulating the system just like anyone else can do. I don't think Activision is helping them manipulate the system, you know what I mean? But it's very easy to manipulate. You don't really need Activision's help to do that, but that is a theory that goes out there in the Warzone world. I don't know. They also said they tested removing skill-based matchmaking, but every time they test it, the data remains the same. The bad players quit playing, so they have to protect them. And yeah, once again, exactly. Skill-based matchmaking ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? At this point, it's a money issue. You know what I mean? They're making more profit on their game because of skill-based matchmaking, so it doesn't really matter what we say. And that's pretty much what I think we all kind of gathered. We all kind of guessed that was the case, but it is nice to at least see them admit it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for for the video. I don't know what people were really expecting to be revealed here. I know a lot of people were like disappointed with this statement. Like, obviously they were never gonna like break down the whole skill-based matchmaking system for us and give us all the inside info on how it works. Honestly, they shared more than I even thought they would. I thought it would be more general than what they said, but it was still pretty much along the general thought process of what I predicted they would say. But if there was still anyone left out there on this planet who actually thought they were ever going to get rid of skill-based matchmaking, I think you have your final answer on that one. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. Check out my last video if you missed it. It is actually kind of related to this. I basically pointed out the hidden MMR system that is in ranked play. So if you play ranked play and you're upset with your lobbies and you feel like it's unfair, that's because it is unfair. So, you know, watch that video if you want some insight on that. But other than that, have a good day and peace out.